All right, so here's where we left off last time. We built our score matchbox recommender for the AdventureWorks database. Now we need to turn this into a web service and actually call it and use it on a web page. So just come down here, make sure it's all run, and you have green checkbox everywhere. We're going to set up a predictive web experiment. Now, later on I'll show you how to do this deploy web service, and this is what we'll use to retrain this algorithm. We can call that web service whenever we feel like it and just automatically retrain things, which is cool. But for now, let's just worry about setting up the predictive web service. So let me try that again. There we go. Let's let that create. Moves things around. Okay. This isn't super necessary, but the output's going to give you, it's going to give you, if you remember from this one, let me just show you what we're looking at here as a reminder. Visualize our score data set. It's going to give you a user ID and then the next 5 items in order that it would recommend for that user. Now these, we changed it to where these are items that are unrated, meaning they've never, in our case, rated means purchased. So these are unpurchased items that they would buy in similar quantities to the ones that they've bought previously. So back here on predictive experiment, what I want you to do is let's do a select columns just so we can get rid of that customer ID. We don't need any more because we're sending them the customer ID in the first place to know which ratings to get. So there's no need for them to send it back to us. So I'm going to delete that relationship, stick this one in here, and tell it that all we want back are, come on, I have to run it first before it'll let me do this. No, it won't even let me do that. Can I run to this one? Nope. All right. The words for it are item. Let me see if I change it this way. Column names. No. It's going to be item 1. Yeah, like that. Item 2. Normally it would let me. It would just give me a list I can select these from. And by the way, where am I getting these things? I'll show you here in 1 second. Item 4, I'm pretty sure it's a space, but we'll find out. Item 5. So this is the names from, let me save this, from back here when we looked at our score recommender, these headers right here, item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we don't want is this user column to come back. We don't need that number. So let's see if this one will run the way it is. All right, just chilling. I'll go ahead and pause this while I'm waiting. Okay, that's all done. Let's take a look at our results. Beautiful. So same thing, just without the user ID. So let's go ahead and deploy this web service. And let's test it out. Now to test it out, we're going to need an actual customer ID. So the type of recommendation we did is not the sort that you do for new customers that haven't ever come here before. This is the kind we use for existing customers, which means I need to go back to that database that I have open and take a look at my sales order header. And here's where I've got some customer IDs. So let's grab this one and use it back here to test it out. Now, even though it's asking for name and order quantity, just ignore them. It's not going to need those for the prediction. All it needs is customer ID. So just hit check, testing it out down here. Cool. For that customer, they return women's mountain shorts, S, classic vest. These are the names of the products that they want to return. So one thing I would do in actual applications, rather than return these names, back here, we use these names in the first place because we wanted to make it easier to analyze the results. And when we were doing this and looking at our scored data set, it was easier to see the product names than to get a product ID number here. But what I would do now that we're actually going to use on the page, and let's assume that we've finished with this model and it's, we've got it just how we want it, I would go back and change my import data statement right here in my SQL, close, to rather than give me the product name right here, go back to give me the product ID. Just makes my API a little bit faster since I'm not sending text back and forth I won't use it as much. I won't use as much bandwidth, and I can always just query the database from my website code to get that product name when I need it. But let's not worry about that now. We've got it all set up. Let's run with this web service back here. Let's test it out first to make sure everything works. So open Postman, just like we've done before in the past. And actually, wait 1 second. Let's click first on this request response. So we've got our, we need our key, our URI, and the example of the body request. So let's go to Postman to test it out. Go here to get request. Request name, Adventure Works Demo. Let's make a new collection to put this in. This is my IS415 demos. Cool. Let's save it there. Okay, so if you remember from doing this in the previous chapter, this is going to be a post. We want this URL right here. Copy, paste that in. We need a couple headers. Let's do content type first, and we're going to make that application JSON. Authorization, we put the word bearer space, and then come back here to this web services view and grab this API key. Yeah, okay, great. Really? You want to run Flash? Okay, fine. Oh, that's new. Great. Anyway, bearer space, and then paste that key in there. And then for the body, let's go to the raw format, and we want to go back to this request response details page. And let's see if this format is valid. Let's paste this in here like that. Okay, am I remembering everything? Let's find out. Send execution, encountered internal error. I don't think it likes this format right here. It's close, but a little bit different from this format that I get down here with. That's the response. Actually, Python gives it to me in a valid JSON format. Right here. Grab that. Paste that in here. I like to line these up. Whoops. Inputs. Can I tab these back? Yep, that works. I think open, close. Oh, this actually goes then right there, and global parameters goes right there. But there's nothing in here, so I'm just going to close that one up. All right, let's try that one out. I think that's good. Thinking. Oh, again, an error? What am I missing this time? Oh, values. Oh, duh. Maybe I should give it, you know what, the other format was probably totally fine. I just forgot. I'm not going to send it two requests. I'm going to send it one, but I've got to put a valid customer ID right there. So let me just grab one back here from the database again, just to test it out. Nope, Postman, where did I put that? Here it is. Okay, there's a customer ID. These don't matter in the slightest because it's not going to actually use those for the prediction. I think that's good. Send. There we go. So we get back here, the item, the name of what we're getting, column type. Yeah, we really don't care about that. What I want here is values. Here's the list of all product names. So let's use that code and let's export this code as C# using the rest sharp add-in. All right, we'll copy that. Now let's build our website. So back here, if you remember at the end of the last video, I said let's go ahead and make a new website. I'm going to pull this down so you can see my options right there. Okay, we're going to go to new website, and I'm going to do an empty, just an empty website. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I want to choose .NET Framework 4.7, which I don't have in this list. And the reason why I'm using 4.7 is because if you go back here to portal.azure.com, like we had open previously, and go to the dashboard and go to our website we created a couple videos ago, the application settings, right here, this is using .NET 4.7. So what you may have to do is go and ask for more frameworks in this site. If you don't have it in Visual Studio, find 4.7, grab the developer pack. It's going to automatically download. And I'm going to pause the video right now while I install that. Okay, so got that installed. Now I have this option. I'm going to go to Visual Studio, new website. This time target 4.7 to make it match up with my Azure. Empty website. I keep going back and forth. No, I'll make it just an empty website. That's fine. And instead of putting on the file system, we want to go to FTP and put this on, grab our credentials from Azure again. So application settings, no properties, that's what we want. URL. No. FTP right here, this URL. Copy that one. Paste. But we're also, remember, going to go into, last time we accidentally put it, it's on site, I think. Site, let me go back here and see. I think, does it show me? Folders? I think it does somewhere. No, maybe not. All right, hang on one second. Let's grab the user next then instead. Copy. And right here, oh, I already got the user in. Password, the one that we set it up with. And then here, we want to put it, I think it was www root. Let me go back. Well, let me look. Oh, not quite. I think that's it though. Let's give that a shot. Open. Can I move this down and take a look? Oh, right. You know, I better check just in case. I'm going to hit cancel. This is the one that we set up last time, and I got that one put in the right spot. File, open, website. Yeah, it was site www root. Okay. All right, sorry about that. New website. Let's overwrite that thing. Browse. No, not on the. Oh, yeah, FTP. There we go. Got that. Plug that one in. Open. And we're doing an empty website in C#. Perfect. Okay. So it should overwrite this one we made last time. There's already a site there. I have to proceed. Create a new website in the existing location. So yeah, overwrite the existing one. Oh, come on. Already forgotten. I think I must have typed it in wrong before. There we go. Cool. Let that run. I'll pause mine. Okay, very cool. Let's go ahead and install REST like we did a few videos ago. Go here to Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console. Will it remember past? No, it won't. That's fine. It is trying to remember what I use for that. Let me search on Google real quick. Okay, perfect. I just don't know the NuGet console language. Here you go. Install -package REST Pretty straightforward. Just chill and wait for this thing to finish. Okay, cool. Got that one. So let's go ahead and make a test form here. Right click. Let's add a time here. Okay, add new item. Call this. What should we do? Let's make a folder instead. This is our, let's call it demos. Add new item, web form, cool. Place code in a separate file, keep that checked. For my students, I know you guys are used to MVC. We're keeping things a little bit simpler here because I'm just doing one demo page. There we go. So here's default.aspx. If you're not used to this, we've got code here in a behind file, they call it. So this file lets us run some C# code based on triggers or event handlers from the web page. So back here on the page, let's use our toolbox. And let's start by writing some code to show all of the products. So we'll just do that one here on body load. So minimize that, get out of the way. We're going to access the database, read it in, and then let's just show, let's start with users and just show a list of users for now. Okay, let's grab on the page, let's start with a label. Oops. Come on, move that inside the div here. Seriously, Visual Studio, hurry up. There we go. Label results. We'll use this a little bit later. And let's make a drop-down box that we can... radio button list? Nah. Yeah, why not? Radio button list, okay. That we can throw some customers into. RBL customers. So I just want you to see how this is all going to work here. When the body loads, we're going to load all the customers in that list. So let's create a database connection. Okay, to do that, we're going to need to import or use system.data.SQL client. There we go, semicolon. All right, let's make a new SQL connection. We're going to call it CN equals new SQL connection. And we're going to build this thing out by going to, let me pull it up here. All right. We need our database connection string. So back here under portal.azure.com, we're going to go to our AdventureWorks database, show database connection strings. Here we go. Beautiful. That's for ADO.net. That's what we want. Copy that guy. Let's move this back out of the way. We're going to paste it in here. Normally, I would make this some type of, I put this in my web config file. I'm just doing this for speed right now. Our database, everything, user ID. Okay, this one's going to be that ID name I made, MK415. Password, I'm going to not show my password here. I'm going to type it in, and then I'm going to move it over here off the screen, so I'll pause it while I do that. But just put your password in right there. Okay, once we got our connection, we're going to open this in a bit, or we could do it now, either way. Why do we keep wanting to go up there? Oh, because I probably got to add a, don't forget, semicolon at the end that I forgot to add. Okay, cool, added that back in. This should stay here now. Yep, beautiful. So next, let's open our connection. Normally I'd want to use a try block for this, but I'm just going to be quick here. Open. Beautiful, let's make a SQL statement. So SQL command, we'll call it CMD equals new SQL command, and in here we're going to put our SQL command, and then we're going to overload it by putting our connection right there. Close that. All right, let's write our SQL. So let's select, what do we want here? We want a list of customers. Let's go ahead and get their names and values. So to find this out, let's open up our database here, and let's go to customer and see what we got, what it looks like. So the name of the table is salesLT.customer. we're going to want customer ID and I guess the whole name together, or let's do the company name. That would make more sense because we're a business to business. We're a distributor of parts. We sell to bike stores. So let's see if we can, let's get a list of all these names right there. I like that. So minimize, select customer ID, and oh crap, was it called company name? No, I can't remember. Company name, yep. And company name from saleslt.customer. Double checking that too. Yes, saleslt.customer. And let's not put any restrictions on it. Let's just say order by, no, we don't even need to order by anything. Who cares? Well, okay, fine. Order by saleslt.company. Well, I don't even need the saleslt right there because I'm only pulling from one table. It should know company name. Beautiful. Okay, next, let's make a, we don't need a, yeah, we do need a data reader. SQL data reader. And we're going to call this one reader. Fine. That'll equal, we're just going to set that equal to null for now. Then we're going to say SQL command. No, we called it, oh, sorry, no. What I want to say is reader equals cmd.execute reader. Beautiful. Execute that thing. And then while, I'm so used to calling this dr in the past. Let's stick with that now. SQL dr, there we go, data reader. While dr.read, we want to take each line and stick it in that list of whatever, our radio button list. So to do that, we're going to first create some list item objects. So let's do that somewhere up, no, we'll do it up here before all of it. All right, we'll say list item li equals new list item. Do I even need that? No. Oh, but I do need to capitalize. There we go. There we go. And then let's see here. We're going to say li equals new. Actually, right here, I think I just want to say li equals null for now. And then here is where I'm going to say li equals new list item. And inside there, we're going to see there's several overloads. We can put a string and we can put a text and a value. So let's make the text the name. So we're going to say dr company name and dr customer ID. And why doesn't it like that? Let me take a look at that in just 1 second here. Then we're going to say radio button list customers that we put on the main page dot items dot add li. When we're done with this, we're going to say rbl customers dot data bind to bind the data to the control. And then let's go ahead and close up our data reader dot close, and close up our connection dot close. All right, what's going on right here? Dr, it doesn't like that format. Let me see. Oh, I know, I was confusing this with VB.NET. This one likes brackets in C#. That's the problem. There we go, now it's happy. Oh, I thought it was happy. All right, let's see now, what am I missing here? Oh, I think I also have to do C# a bit more explicit, .toString. Yeah, that's the problem. There we go. We got to cast what we pull out of there to a string. Actually, this one I kind of want to make it an integer because it's in the value position. So what options do I have? Customer ID. Can I do cint and C#? No. No, that's fine. We'll just leave it as toString. See if it handles it fine. Got to brush up my C#. Okay, let's try it. Give this one a shot here. Save this. Save default. What we want now is to get the URL of our web page. So grab your Azure website settings. So go to the dashboard. Here's our website. It'll give us a URL here somewhere right here. Cool. That's our website. Copy. Copied. Beautiful. Paste. Oh, we've got nothing in there. This is just empty. We need to send it to that folder we made. Is it called demo? No. Was it demos? Gosh. All right, fine. What do we call it? It is demos. Website. Demos. Default. What doesn't like? Let me close this out. What if we put it in the main website root? Okay, great. Did I make it in the wrong place or something? All right, that's it. File, open, website. I may have called it the wrong thing when I did that. Oh yeah, password. Site, here it is, demos. All right, what's this problem? Let's double check and see if this one's working properly. Let's edit some of the code on this page real fast and see if it's going to change anything. Yikes. Your app service has been created. How about testing to see if I'm even getting to the site? Command save. No, now I can't even find. I think I've got some temporarily unavailable. I think I've got some errors. What I need to do, oops, is come back here and go into my, I'm going to reopen the way I had it before. Open website and go ahead and put in site www root. I think what I need to do here is tell it to enable some errors. I'm trying to remember what that is. Cannot be found. Oh, it's in there all right. What we need to know is, okay, so I moved default back to that demos folder, pulled up that hosting start.html, and yes, it did change that right there, so I know I'm in the right place, but for some reason, it does not like my default.aspx file. So if I go here to demos, it acts like it can't find default.aspx. All right, let me pause it and figure this out real quick. Okay, got to figure it out. Let me show you what I had to do. Come here, if you've been following along with my videos the whole time and you first made a version that wasn't 4.7, just come here. The easiest thing to do is actually going to be to delete your web config file. Just go ahead and hit OK on that, delete it, and then come back here and let's add a new one. So add new item. I know you can't see it, it's off the screen here, but I'm selecting add the new item. And come down here to web configuration file, add that one. And now we're targeting the right framework. Next, I want you to go back to your website and refresh it. So I'm back in the demos folder again. I put my default there. This is where I'm trying this stuff all out. And I get this. It says, okay, you've got some errors, but you can't see them because you need to set custom errors mode equal to off. No problem. Let's come and add that in. That code goes right here. Custom errors mode equals off. Save it. Next, come back, refresh your website. And I actually have a login error. I think what I need, what it wants, says login failed for user MK415. I think actually no, first of all, one thing at a time. Let's add a debug equals true here to the directory at the top of the file that generated the error. That way we can see more details on this. So back, let me move this out of the way. This goes here in the default.aspx file. Anywhere in here is fine. I'll put it here at the end. Debug equals true. Perfect. Back here. Refresh. So I think the problem is, actually I know what the problem is. In a previous video, 2 videos ago, back here when we were trying to set up our SQL database so that we could log into it from SQL Server Management Studio, remember when we had to create a firewall rule because we could only log in from a certain validated IP address, and I set that range of IP addresses here at my office. So the problem is we're trying to log into that from a web page, which is going to have a completely different IP address. So we're going to go ahead and allow all IP addresses. Whoops, that's not the name. Web access, anonymous access, which is okay. I mean, if we don't have to do this, we don't want to. But in this case, we need to do this. Web access, save. All right, let's see if that does it for us. Back here, let's refresh. No, still didn't help. All right, let me try something else. Okay, finally figured it out. Here's the problem. Back here, I should have known better. This is stupid. I'm officially an idiot. Well, you do that. Here we go, user ID. What you need to do, I left in those curly braces right here that went around the user ID. Yeah, wasn't supposed to have those. Get rid of the curly braces that were around user ID and also the ones that were around the password as well. Take care of those, save it, and now here we go. I've got everybody listed twice. 3 times possibly? No, everyone's just twice. I think that's because, sorry, I'm moving all around. That's because I think we have the same name with multiple IDs in the actual database back here. But there's something else that I've noticed we need to do. So our prediction only works for customers who already have, the type of prediction we're doing, association analysis, only works for the customers who have already made orders. We have a whole bunch of customers in this database who have never placed an order before. So what we need to do is update our SQL to what I've got right here. We need to select customer ID and company name from sales lt.customer and also sales lt.order sales order header where, and let's do an inner join through the where clause here, and an inner join will only give us those customers back who have orders. So we're going to say where sales lt.customer ID equals sales lt.sales order header dot customer ID. If you're wondering what I'm doing again, it's right here. So I'm saying basically give me those same things. Oh, and I'm going to have to, customer ID is now ambiguous because I have in 2 tables, so I need to add which table I want to pull that name from. Let me do that in here before I forget. Okay. So here I'm saying give me the customer ID and name for only those companies where there's a corresponding customer ID in both the sales order header and the customer database. So let's save that one and refresh this page. Oh, I've got I was playing around before. I gotta fix this real quick. I'll show you what this is in just a second. Okay. All right, so here we have only those companies who've actually made a purchase. That's a much smaller, simpler list. So what I want to do now is be able to click on one of these, and have it pull up a list of recommended next products to sell each of them. So let's move that out of the way. What I want you to do is come back here to default.aspx and double click on this unbound radio button, and it's going to create a handler, event handler, for when someone clicks a button or changes changes it. So also come up here and let's add a label above all this, and here's where we'll print out the results. Initial text, I'll just stick an NBSP, a non-breaking space in there, so it won't move the text down like it did before. So next, let's head back here to this page, and let's go back to Postman. And I want you to, here's where we left off. We had tried out a customer value. We'd gotten back the prediction. Everything was working nice and happy. But now what you need to do is come here to code and grab this code of C#, res#. Let's minimize this, and let's paste this into here. And what we're going to do is say label recommends. Now this is the one, again, that I created. This label right here, label recommends, dot text is going to equal response. This is the response object that we get back from this res# client. Dot content dot toString. Let's start by just seeing what that response is. But what we need though is to change this right here. This is we're manually entering in a customer ID. We want to do it dynamically. So enter another open, close, double quotes, so it looks like this, with a couple of plus signs. And in here, we're going to refer to the radio button list customers that we created, dot selected value, dot toString. So this selected value we created ourselves. That's up here in, right here where when we create a new list item, we put the name in the text position, customer ID in the value position. So with our radio button list, the way that turned out here, if you're wondering, if you right click on this code and view page source, you'll see that each radio button list option has, okay, here's the name of the company, and it put, where is it? There we go. There's the value, the unique customer ID for each one. That happened when we put the name right here and the value right there. All right, so let's save this and try it out. Pull this back over here. Action bike specialist, let's see what we get here. Waiting. Still calling it, there we go. All right, so our results is a JSON object, and here's our recommended products. Now we've got to parse that out and pull the details for each product. So let's go ahead and do that next too. I'm going to leave this open outside my screen where I can still see it, and we could probably download a JSON parser and use that. Is there a quicker way I can do it right now? No, actually, this video is already 40 minutes. Let's leave it as is. I can save that for another video or show you how to do that in class. Yeah, that's what we'll do. But this is now how we've created a recommendation engine. We've got a list of companies, and we've got a way to call it. Let's see if we get a new one here. Each time we click on one, we should get, there we go. So it's sort of there's a bit of a delay. That's because we're on the free tier of Azure ML Studio. So obviously when you're making a production time environment, you may have to end up paying for a little bit more speed. Yeah, that's not so bad. But pretty cool.